So AI is getting so good at this point, I almost don't even have to write content anymore. And so what I'm going to show you in this video is how we're taking voice notes and taking that through a series of little automated processes in order to come up with almost like ready to publish content. And I think what's really important about this is, one, I'm going to show you this cool little system to do like voice to email, but really two, just like thinking about how impactful this could be and where you could apply this. Because I think it's the application of this process that could have a really big impact on your business, whether you're doing email or your primary focus is LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube or whatever that is. Really quick, if you don't know me already, my name is Brice. I've been working online for nearly 10 years, mostly helping course creators sell their digital products online. And now with AI, we're pretty much doing everything with AI these days. And so that's what I want to show you in this video right here is how we are using AI to take voice notes and turn those into pretty much ready to send emails. Now, this is just kind of taking AI to level 2. So I think level 1 AI is getting really good at like prompting and also creating projects and like project knowledge bases. I've got another video I'll throw up, I think in this corner up here, where it's really about like, how can you train AI to sound like you, to write like you want to, and to be able to like know your brand, your voice, the same way you would treat any new copywriter or content writer that's coming onto your team, right? How can you train them and work with them through an iterative process to get really good outputs? Now, taking that one step further, once we start building this into automations where it's using tools that you use every day, like say Slack or Asana or Airtable or whatever it is that you use to kind of manage your business, one of the things that we lose when we start to do that is we now no longer have like the prompting box, like when we're on Claude and we're typing away and we're getting to go back and forth and saying like, okay, change this, change that. We really just have to get everything right in the first try, because what we're doing on the back end is we're like giving an input, like let's say this in this example, a voice note, we're sending that through a series of prompts and processes, and then we're coming out the other end with an output. And that's going to be like an email in a Google Doc. And so you don't get this iterative process as much. So the better you can nail that, the less editing you have to do on the end. So what you're going to see on my screen here is like what this little automation actually looks like. So we're using this tool called Make. If you don't know Make, Make is like a Zapier. And you can use this to build these kinds of automations. And basically what this is doing, just to walk you through it really quickly, is this is going to our Slack and it is watching for a message that's coming from me in a private Slack channel. So I have a private Slack channel that's called AI Notes. And so you can see here, it's just like, you know, this is me dropping little voice notes. And then every time it just responds back with an email copy for me to review and a link to Asana where we kind of manage all our projects. It's downloading that file. It is transcribing it. So by transcribing it, it's like, you know, turning voice into words. It's storing an Airtable because that's a little place. And then this is where the real magic happens. So this is going to our Google Drive, and it's pulling from a document that is has all the information that it needs to know about our brand. Like, what would you give a new copywriter or a new content writer that's coming onto your business? So you would probably tell them, who is your avatar? What are the pain points they have? What are the struggles that they have on a daily basis? You would tell them, what is your brand? What is copy that you've written in the past that's done really well? What are your offers? What should they be promoting? Anything like that would be really relevant. We put all of that into a Google Doc so we can pull from that. And then we come in here to Claude and we're saying, okay, Claude, you know, we're assigned, you know, kind of going back to some of the general rules of like really good prompting. We want to give context. We want to give a task. We want to give it some kind of like restrictions and how it's going to operate. And we want to give it examples and stuff of what it is. So, you know, you're a really good copywriter. The first thing you need to do is understand this brand. And we're giving it that document that we pulled right over here. Then what we're doing is saying, here are the guidelines you're going to follow, because we want to give it some rules and some guidelines that it operates within. And then what we're doing is we're saying, okay, here's this message. Now go ahead and write an email based on that. And then once it does that, it creates a little Google Doc, puts that into Asana first. Whoop. And not greatest story with this thing. And then it puts that into Asana and it sends that back to me in Slack. So I can just kind of give it a quick review and hit send. So this is what our Asana looks like, right? Which we have all these rough drafts that are coming through that are these voice notes that I made. Whenever it's ready, I can just move over here to ready to schedule. And then we have the ones that are getting sent out. And so this is an actual email from like a 60-second voice note that I did where it's, you know, talking about the changing world order. You know, I wanted to use a story about Ray Dalio and how kind of this idea of this changing world order also applies to content creation and AI right now. And so it's like, yeah, you know, you probably heard of Ray Dalio, legendary investor, wrote the book Principles. Also wrote a bunch of other great books. He's the richest man in the world because he decided to embrace algorithms. And I'll let you kind of read through this. You can like pause and read through this. But like This is an email that I was pretty happy to do a little editing on. I probably, realistically edited this for like 4 or 5 minutes. And then this was ready to go. I knew about a product. It knew the link for our product. It knew my sign off. It knows our style in terms of just like subject line, preview text, good email, and a little PS line. So like, this is something I was super happy with. And again, total time to get this done was like 60 seconds to record the voice note. And then I would say 4 to 5 minutes to actually edit it and polish it off. And then it was ready to hit send. And so this is so powerful. I think this is also even more powerful when you start to think about like the context in which you could use this. So at this point, we have little trained Claude projects for email, for YouTube videos like this to help out with YouTube videos, for Instagram. You could do this for LinkedIn posts, like wherever you make content online, you could have little helpers like this. And so again, it is so powerful. And especially once you start thinking about, taking like voice notes and running it through a series of prompts to get what you want, super powerful. I think the biggest thing is really, just understanding like, how can you train AI to sound like you, write like you, use your stories, know your signups, all that stuff. And then the other thing is like, how can you have really good prompts so that again, like you get the output that you want with as little iteration as possible, because it sucks if you have to do this and then you spend like 45 minutes trying to edit an email or whatever like that. But hopefully with this, you could see how this works. And hopefully like this kind of starts to open up your mind and unlock some ideas about like, where else could you use this in your business and how else could you use some little simple automations like this to actually streamline what you are doing and just make the content creation part of your business more efficient, because we all know how important content creation is. And we also know how much time content creation takes. And so if we can streamline that and get that to be a really effective machine in your business that doesn't take up all your time, then you go focus on other important stuff that we know you want to be doing every day. So that is it. I hope you found this really helpful. If you have any more questions about how to do this, just drop them in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you. As well as I'm going to have some more information down in the description about like how you can learn how to do more like this and write email that sounds like you with AI and all that stuff. So check that out down in the description below. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. That really helps me make more videos like this. Of course, all the YouTube stuff. Other than that, I hope you have a great day out there, and I hope to see you soon in another video.